Hello, how you doing? Jerry McKeever here again in Letterkenny, backdrop Letterkenny. Another video here, and the video I want to shoot today concerns uh, the ongoing financial nonsense that's happening in this country. We can all talk about the bike sheds and the hospital, etc., but it's all ongoing. And what happens when too much money is spent and money is wasted? They come back to us for more taxes again. Every tax that goes up is basically an admittance of failure. But here we are, failure non-stop. I want to talk about one particular piece of financial nonsense going on in the country at the moment. They're going to build a metro system below Dublin City, 7 mile long, from the centre of the city to the airport. Now, I know the traffic there is tight, no doubt about it, but they reckon they're going to spend 12 months ago, they said 9.6 billion. Is that now going to be 11 with inflation built in? What does 11 mean in real terms in this country when you consider what was spent on the Children's Hospital? Is it going to mean 20, 25 billion? Probably. Now, when you think of it, they've already spent, depending on where you get your information, between $250 million and $500 million on this project, and nothing, absolutely nothing, has been done yet. This is just typical of what goes on here. Now, here's where I think that money should go. 37% of the water that runs through Dublin's pipes leaks. Over 1/3. Now, that's where the money should go. That's where only a part of that money should go. I'm sure it won't cost that amount of money. But no, are they going to do this? No, they're not. What are the government going to do ultimately to fix the water problem in Dublin City? They say that they're intending to reroute water from the Shannon area to Dublin to give them their water supply. Now, what's that going to cost? Is that going to cost 20 billion as well? I believe that even one of these projects, yet alone both of them, could bankrupt the country. We just haven't got that money. We're already 250 billion in debt. That's our national debt. The SRA reckons it's going to go to over 300 billion. Well, another piece of financial nonsense, I'm going off topic, I'm not really in a sense, is this new pension scheme, savings scheme the government's in putting in now. We have to borrow money to run a savings scheme. I mean, a 5-year-old child came up with that idea. You say, don't be ridiculous, that makes no sense. You know, it doesn't make any sense. None of it makes sense. Where would the money go if we don't spend it on that two projects? It could go into our Gardaí. I believe our law and order is falling apart in this country. We need more Gardaí in the streets. We need more Gardaí in general. At the moment, we pay about 2.5 billion a year in wages on our Gardaí. Perhaps this should be 5. Where does that money come from? It comes from not spending money stupidly. It also comes from taking probably 75% of the money from our NGOs in this country that are not serving us properly. We spend about 6.57 billion a year in NGOs. That's half its nonsense. We could create a better Gardaí force if we reroute the money here. We could also spend it on possibly a prison. We have a situation now where our prisons are running at overcapacity to probably 20-25%. Is there any wonder that lately a man who killed another man in Dublin with a karate kick got 5 years in prison? You know, I mean, again, you move on to another department that's banjaxed, the Justice Department. Everything is wrong in this country. The nonsense has to stop. How are we going to stop it? We have to do it ourselves. I want to go talk about another piece of financial nonsense. Data centres. The average consumption of electricity in most European countries is what they call low single figure percentage. And Ireland is 22%. 22%. Not only that, but we subsidise the rate they pay. We pay more consequently for our electricity because of that. We're now the most expensive country in Europe for electricity. Again, the whole thing is absolutely, it's ridiculous. Are we now basically going to be a service station for Europe here, in the sense that you go into a service station and get your petrol? Is Ireland now going to be the service station for data centres for Europe? Is that the idea? Are we just going to be a dumping ground for data centres? Not only do data centres consume far too much electricity, but they also pollute water systems. You see some terrifying videos on YouTube of American states and counties that have their water polluted now because of data centres. You know, their government is not looking after us. The only answer that I can see is just that we have to do it ourselves. We have to form the party I'm suggesting. We need a party that gives a damn, that cares for us. The people are there, the money could be there, the jeopardy is there, the independent, the democratic process is still there for us. Look, we have to get this going. You know, again, if we don't get it going soon, we could be in deeper trouble again. There's an irony I want to talk about here for a second before I go. Keir Starmer has just resigned. Now, I shot this video in the end of June. I may put it a little later than that. Keir Starmer has just resigned. Was Keir Starmer doing a bad job? Who knows? Look at the mess he was left. He was left with Brexit. He was left with the damage the Conservatives have done. I don't think that he did such a terrible job. He was trying to get it right. He appointed a guy to the Ministry of Defence, who appointed a guy under him who'd been in the army and been in the forces. These two people know what they are doing. They knew what they were doing. And what happens? They resigned. This put more egg in Keir Starmer's face because these people resigned that he appointed. But the irony here for me is this. He appointed people who knew what they were doing. Normally you appoint someone as a minister in Ireland and England who basically just do what he's told by the government. Willy-nilly, doesn't matter, just do what you're told. But these people knew what they're doing. He did the right thing there. And what happens? He suffers because the money's not there that they need to do what they want to do. We hopefully still have the money to run the country. Let's elect a proper party while we still have it. Look, again, if you agree with anything I'm saying, please subscribe and share. Please comment. Please contact me. I'm not expecting to run this thing. I don't have the political nous or knowledge. But I think, I could be a conduit for people who want to contact and get together. People with common sense who really care for the country and want to fix it. Please give me a shout. All the best. Good luck. Bye-bye.